radio listeners, you are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I'm Kenny Horn.
And I'm Kyle Pepitone, and you're now tuned in to the Morning Buzz.
Well, kinda.
Every Friday during the summer, we're going to give you a compilation show of the Morning Buzz over the course of the last week.
We have it all, everything from the pressing news stories all the way to the weird and funny news that will be sure to give you a good laugh.
We will even replay interviews that aired, so you have another chance to listen in.
We'll even be posting this show to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more.
So go ahead and treat yourself. Sit back, relax, and grab that extra donut, and listen to the best of the Morning Buzz.
Donuts.
Brace yourselves for this one. This gym is banning people who have been vaccinated against COVID. From Vice.com, Toronto's Fearless Boxing Club has outlined its vaccine policy, stating that those who have, quote, received the experimental COVID vaccine, end quote, will no longer be allowed entry. In Canada, all available vaccines have been approved by Health Canada and have undergone rigorous trials to prove their safety. The city of Toronto claims COVID vaccines, quote, met the same safety and quality standards required for all vaccines. No steps were skipped in the approval process, end quote. And fitness is only one of a few businesses outlining different COVID and vaccination policies. The chain Gold Life Gym says they won't require staff or guests to be vaccinated. However, if you are, you're still allowed on the premises. But a restaurant in Toronto called Chantekler said all customers dining at the bar will have to show proof of vaccination. A program called Safe to Do also shut down recently due to similar reasons. Safe to Do was a website listing Ontario establishments and businesses that had fully vaccinated staff, but was shut down on the account that these businesses listed were getting bad reviews. The creator of Safe to Do tweeted, quote, this was truly unexpected. I started this website less than a week ago, and it was intended to be apolitical and to provide a resource for those who had lower risk tolerances and or medical conditions that made COVID high risk for them, end quote. And currently in Toronto, about 65% of adults are fully vaccinated. Oh boy. Thoughts, anyone? I'll wait to share my opinions, but what do you all think of this? Because this is not, I'm going to say this. This is not a story you expect to hear coming from Canada. This story says America, but that's all I'm going to say for now.
I beg your pardon with this one, but I was in the wee early hours of the morning trying to understand and read the notion of this article, and I was completely floored looking at it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I know it's Canada and all this stuff, and they're just opening their borders miraculously. This upcoming week, the Toronto Blue Jays are going to be playing within the next week back in their home country after being away for almost 2 years, basically. Wow. So, and I think it's kind of crazy saying that a gym would not allow people who are fully vaccinated against the COVID vaccine to not come in their gym, whether or not if they were or not vaccinated. So it's kind of a little outrageous, the fact that if you're trying to protect others and doing the right thing and sort of being punished and not being allowed into a facility where you want to better yourself, better your body, your health, and your mental and physical aspect. And I mean, the whole country of Canada has pretty been sheltered within the last year because of their strict policy and the fear of probably spreading the vaccine, and everything's sort of opening up now, and the border is going to be open soon. And I just don't understand how like people would probably tell others, say you're not allowed welcome if you have the shot recorded.
Yeah. When I first read the title, Kyle, I was like, I thought I was reading it wrong. I was like, against like vaccinated, like, right? Like you would think that like unvaccinated, because it's happened with like restaurants and bars, stuff like that. But I was like, I don't know. I feel like this is definitely a step backwards for Canada, and it's just, we're trying to protect people, like Campbell said, and that's not what they're doing. It just doesn't make any sense. I feel like it's out of pettiness, because that maybe they're against it or something. I just feel like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, just makes sense that they would be petty about it rather than like just anything else.
Right. And look, I'm not going to judge anybody whether they agree with the vaccine or not. You're entitled to your own opinion. But this is not the way to go about it. This, like you said, Patrina, seems very off the ground of pettiness. Look, you can be as paranoid about the vaccine as you want. It's your own right to do so. But I don't think, and I'm sure there are some people who might believe this, but I don't think people who are vaccinated pose any danger. Let's just say, hypothetically, this vaccine is some major, I don't know, mind control thing, which it's probably not. At least to my knowledge, it's not. But I don't think that would affect those unvaccinated. So I can see the owner of the gym being like, I personally, me speaking as the owner of the gym, I personally don't agree with the vaccine, but to not dox, but to cut people who are from the gym, that doesn't make sense. That's the point I'm not getting. I can understand the hesitancy to get vaccinated. I can understand the acceptance of non-vaccinated people, but I can't wrap my head around the fact that vaccinated people are outright banned. Most places I've seen that aren't strict vaccine policy places, they allow a mix, vaccinated and unvaccinated. Both are allowed in. So this being the first thing I read this morning at 4:30, I've been confused for the last several hours.
Kyle, you and I both. Honestly, I'm still laughing at the fact that you said this sounds like more of a United States story rather than a Canada story, because it is true. A lot of my friends are like, oh, I want to move to Canada, healthcare, this, that, the fourth. But this definitely feels like a political stance to me, because although vaccines should not be a political, like, you lean towards one side if
Right.
You're getting the vaccine, or you're not, or you lean towards the other if you do get it. But I think this is like, it's so weird to me, because personally, I don't go to a boxing club, right? But I do go to the gym. And
Right.
if people were to be like, oh, you can't come in because you have the vaccine. First of all, if you're operating a gym or a boxing club that allows people who are not vaccinated to just be, dilly-dallying with no masks whatsoever, or whatever the case may be, I'm not going into that gym. I'm not going to the gym.
Right.
So for starters, I get that you're banning me, but like, first of all, if you're allowing that, I wouldn't even want to go to the gym. And I just think it's weird. It's weird to me. Like, why would you ban people who are, like, again, I agree with you, Kyle. Like, I'm not going to force you to get a vaccine. I know everybody's like, oh, you should, because it'll just be for the, what is it called? Herd
immunity.
Yes. Right. So, but I get it if people don't want to get it, right? Like, I get it. I understand you. Like, I see what you see, but we or just make a personal choice. But for you to be like banning people, you're taking it too far, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I have a question to ask about that.
Go ahead.
So, like, if you're an owner, right, and this could go like anywhere with this, but for unvaccinated people and vaccinated people to go to a gym, like, would it like be a distray where, like, if an owner like would have to ask a person about if they were or not, because isn't that a violation? Like, I mean,
yeah, that's a good question. I
Listen.
know here in Jersey,
yeah.
you're not supposed to ask for proof. I think between individual businesses you can, but Murphy said like it's not required to show proof.
I'm
But,
gonna
like-
go ahead, Patrina.
Sorry. No, all I was gonna say is, like, what kind of proof? Like, just say I wanted to walk into that gym, I could easily say that I am not vaccinated if I wanted to go in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
You
to,
know
like,
what I
make
mean?
a-
Like,
Yeah, that's a very good point. Hey,
I was
do you have a vaccination card? Nope. Okay. Right. Walk right in.
right. Like, what kind of proof do you want me to show? Like, I'm holding no card.
That's a
Yeah.
very good point. That's a very good point, Patrina. And this is how this is kind of going to my point of saying how this is more like either a political thing or you just trying to go against what everybody is saying to do or whatever the case may be. Because if you really sit down and you think of the logic of these people that are, and it is their business and, people will make the choice of whether or not they want to continue to go. And at the end of the day, it's like they're a gym. And so they're all in their rights to choose whatever they want to do for their business. But if you really sit down and think of the logic behind this, you're like, where is the logic? Where is the logic?
Right.
However, going to like Campbell's point of like businesses, this is something that I feel very passionate about, and because my family owns like businesses, right? And I feel like, and I've said this before in previous shows, that when they lifted the mask mandate, they did not give specific instructions on how it would work. And I get it, free country, free choice, blah, 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 and trying to make everybody comfortable. However, you need to set some sort of guidelines, because if you don't, then people get upset with you. And this is not me just making assumptions. This is me like seeing it. Like, I've gone to like my family stores and it's like, oh, like they get annoyed if you ask them to wear their mask, or they get annoyed if you ask them like, well, have you been vaccinated? And to answer Campbell's question, when they lifted the mask mandate, Governor Murphy, they basically said that small businesses or businesses in general have the choice to implement whatever it is that they want to implement.
Right.
So if businesses want to continue to ask people to wear masks, they can do so, if 6 feet apart and all that other good stuff. So they do have the option, but you have to also understand how annoyed other people get when they go inside a business and then you ask them like, oh, please wear your mask. And it's like a whole big thing.
Yeah, that's something, if I understand what you're saying correctly, that's one thing that has been kind of just wishy-washy. Like, when the mask mandates were a thing, we all knew the protocol: wear the mask, 6 feet apart, so on and so forth. But now it's a business to business basis, but no business has signs on the front door outlining what they want. And that's a little confusing.
Yeah, and and I'm telling you, because I've done it. Like I when I go work, like people will be like, well, it's legal to not have to wear a mask anymore. And I just get so annoyed because they give me such a big attitude. And it's like, oh my God, like, ma'am, I know that. You don't think I know that? But in this, and I have to be like, and sometimes I catch an attitude and I know you shouldn't, but honestly, like, you have to understand dealing all day with people who are very like reluctant to like follow, like, and I'm telling you, like, this.
So wait, they get annoyed at
business,
you? They get annoyed at you for wearing a mask?
No, for asking them to wear a mask.
Oh, like you as working in a store.
Yeah, so I'm the employee and the shop, people are coming in, to customers, and I ask them like, oh, can you wear your mask? And it's like a whole big deal. Some people would just be like, okay, fine, whatever. But then to other people, it's like a whole big deal. They catch an attitude, then I catch an attitude, and it's just, it's not a good relationship, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what I had to do. As working at Starbucks before, like, the mask mandate was lifted. People would come in without masks, but most of them actually, a different story from you, Crystal. A lot of people actually were like, "Oh, okay, sorry, I forgot." Like, it was actually, I'm thankful I didn't have people that would fight me on it. I did have somebody fight me on wanting to use a bathroom that they weren't allowed to at the time, but I'm not going to get into that story. But either way, it's like, people, like, I don't know. It's just, this is a whole different thing rather than masks. Like, I don't know. Like, at least, I wonder if this gym is just like, at least the unvaccinated are wearing masks. I highly doubt it.
The article didn't say anything about mask mandates. It was just strictly about the vaccine policies, and then like I mentioned, like other companies in the area or other businesses in the area.
Yeah, but I'm assuming if it didn't mention it, then probably
And the owner, it said in the article, the owner can't denied interviews at the time because he was, his words were he was swamped with work. So make of that what you will. Anyway,
Swamped with work, with people, with banning people who are not vaccinated. That's what he's swamped with.
yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm still trying to wrap my head around Patrina's point. Like, how do you prove how easy it is to prove or fake prove that you're not vaccinated?
Right. Like how? I want to know.
I
I want to know what this like boxing gym is thinking. Like, how are they going to catch people that are vaccinated? I want to know.
maybe no. I would say they have like like the gym I used to work at. You had key cards you scanned your key card, you signed in, and there was a profile that came up. But I doubt there would be a medical history on that profile.
Maybe they ask for your immunization papers.
But then again, you could just fake them, right? I think.
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe.
know.
I don't know.
Moving on to the vaccine in New Jersey. According to NJ.com, 49 people who were fully vaccinated have died from COVID. So of the 5 million, or of the over 5 million adults fully vaccinated in New Jersey, 49 have died due to coronavirus complications. Of those 49, over half of them had one or more underlying medical conditions. The underlying medical conditions consisted of 17 people with cardiovascular disease, 7 with diabetes, 9 with cancer or other immunocompromised diseases, 5 with chronic lung conditions, 3 with chronic kidney conditions, 1 with chronic liver conditions, and 5 with other chronic conditions. Donna Lusner, a spokeswoman at the state's Department of Health, says that all of the deaths in people occurred over 50 years of age, with 6 people between the ages of 50 and 64, 13 between the ages of 65 and 79, and 30 over the age of 80. State Communicable Disease Service Medical Director Ed Lifshitz has said, quote, it is important to point out that 49 deaths due to COVID among the 4.8 million fully vaccinated state residents is slightly greater than 1 in 100,000 fully vaccinated individuals. That means vaccines are about 99.999% effective in preventing deaths due to COVID-19. End quote. Those with underlying conditions, both vaccinated and unvaxxed, are still at risk as long as a majority of the population remains unvaccinated. And currently, about 70% of the New Jersey population is fully vaccinated, putting it at the top 10 in the country, 7th place to be exact, according to the CDC. So a bit of mix of good and bad information there. Bad, obviously, that despite the vaccine, these people unfortunately passed away. But good that we sit in 7th place amongst vaccinated populations.
Yeah, that is really good, and it makes me feel comfortable, you know. But what I'm thinking about, like the people that have died due to COVID that were fully vaccinated, what I'm thinking is like, I know they're like older, and it's known that like the older people that get the vaccine, they don't develop symptoms when they get the vaccine. So for example, my grandpa, he's 95 and he has the vaccine, but he said he felt no symptoms whatsoever. He didn't have a sore arm. He didn't get like any sickness or anything, as if like nothing ever happened. So I'm thinking maybe like since like the people over the age of 80, maybe like most of them, if they haven't developed symptoms, that has to do with something the vaccine not working correctly.
Maybe.
That's just my opinion. I'm just assuming that. I'm not sure. You know.
So you're saying that like it's possible to they've gotten defective doses?
Not defective. I would just say for them it just works differently. Like I don't think it's just defective. I just think it works differently for them. Since they haven't developed the symptoms from it, I just think that maybe that has to do something with them like getting sick and like dying from COVID, even though they're vaccinated.
Yeah. I mean, like the article said, over half of the 49, it was like around 27, I think the article said specifically, had one or more underlying conditions. And we've known from the start that those who are older and B have underlying medical conditions are at higher risk, regardless. So it's does stick true to what we know about COVID in itself. We've known older and more immunocompromised people are at a higher risk. We've known the vaccine isn't 100% effective. So it's not really any shocking news from the story. Of course, it's unfortunate that despite all the medical help they were getting, these 49 people still passed away. But it's nothing like, oh, this is totally unexpected. How could this happen? Like, we all know these facts. We know the risk and all that stuff. I'm almost positive everybody who gets the COVID vaccine knows, at least to a degree, that like I might not be 100% safe, but I'm safer than if I wasn't.
Yeah, and I was going to say that I think it's terrible, obviously, that these 49 people have died, but I think at the rate that people were dying before compared to right now, we definitely see the progress and we definitely see the vaccines working. Because had we still been like a year ago, the numbers were like in the thousands. A lot of people were getting either tested positive or were sick in hospitals, all these other things. So I do want to highlight that we are seeing progress. And I think also I feel like this is such an important story as well, because it kind of highlights the fact that even though you're vaccinated, you can still get COVID, right? And I think a lot of people should be aware of that. And I say that because, I go outside too. I go to restaurants, I go to, bars, movies, whatever the case may be. And, I obviously, if I don't have to wear my mask, I won't. But I think that I see a lot of people with no masks either. They don't even carry one with them. I carry one with me at all times, but I see some people who don't carry masks with them. So I think this story is specifically important because it highlights that even though you are vaccinated, you can get COVID. So you should still, try to hand sanitizer, wipes. I mean, that's at least what I do. I don't know what everybody else does, but I always, still carry my hand sanitizer, my wipes, mask, all the good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, especially since there's definitely going to be like a bunch of people out there that aren't vaccinated and they're still not going to wear their masks. And, it's something you just got to like be aware of, and just even know, like, for people that are like listening in, that even though like you're vaccinated, it doesn't mean like you're safer than you were before, but that doesn't mean you're fully like safe from COVID and getting COVID.
Exactly. Yeah. And unless I'm wrong, Fauci has said something recently too about COVID and the vaccine, right, Patrina?
That is true. So on Sunday, the White House chief medical advisor, Anthony Fauci said that U.S. health officials are considering revising mask guidance for those that are vaccinated for COVID-19. Fauci told CNN's State of the Union that, quote, this is under active consideration. Fauci has also emphasized that local governments could determine their own rules. Places such as Los Angeles and St. Louis, Missouri are requiring masks indoors once again for those who are vaccinated, while other cities are considering reinstating the rule. Infections of COVID-19 have been rising in all 50 states, especially the states with the most unvaccinated people. Vivek Murthy, the U.S. Surgeon General, stated that 97% of hospital admissions and 99.5% of COVID deaths occurred among all unvaccinated people. Currently, the U.S. population is 49% vaccinated, and according to the Kaiser Family Foundation Vaccine Monitor, those who won't get the vaccine were reported to be 23% Republican, 16% Independent, and 2% Democrat. And the governor of Florida, Governor DeSantis, says, quote, these vaccines are saving lives. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see all these states and whatnot, they're all like mandating masks again. I wouldn't be surprised because with the numbers, I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be, but then again, like it's rising, it's a concern. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure not everywhere is going to mandate it, but I feel like we're gonna see a lot of places mandating some masks again.
Right. It's unfortunate that this article didn't have anything about New Jersey. Because
Right.
this is where we live. We might need to know, but I'm sure we can find news on that
Kyle
somewhere
doesn't
else.
care about the rest of the country. He's just concerned with himself.
Look, I very rarely leave my house, number one, much less the state. I would like to know what's going on here because for the past, I don't know, 15 months, I've been in the dark. I don't know what the rules are anymore.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a place such as Florida, I feel like it's an important place to, like, I think require masks again. I feel like that Florida's very much like a touristy area where
Right.
people come from everywhere. And so, like, I feel like this is very important for, like, everybody to know about because a lot of people visit Florida from everywhere. So it's like, I mean, Jersey, on the other hand, I would like to hear about that too, though, just because we do have a lot of tourists as well.
Right. I'm sure we can find it somewhere. And Crystal mentioned earlier today that Florida is currently a hotspot, so not great. But the other problem with that is Florida is a very touristy state, especially Orlando, with Disney and Universal and all that. But as we've seen, even here in Jersey, mask and heat do not mix well, considering some of the facts that even Murphy has said, oh yeah, children in, I believe it was summer camps, probably shouldn't wear masks in the sweltering heat. And furthermore, New Jersey, the temperatures recently have dubbed New Jersey the new Florida. So I can only imagine it's worse down there.
Oh my God, yeah. And like you said, with the kids not having to wear masks, it was a summer camp, you said?
I believe Murphy said summer camps, but it might have also extended to schools as well.
Yeah, especially like places like that, like young. I think it's 12 and up that can get the vaccine, right?
Yes,
As of
12
right
and under
now,
are still can't. Yeah.
Yeah, so like kids that are attending these summer camps that are like under the age of 12 and aren't vaccinated, I guess it's a concern in a way. I mean, I know kids can't really like spread it as, I guess, or like contract it as much as like
they're
someone
not
who's
as
older.
high of risk for COVID, but it's a disease you can still, or
Right.
not disease, it's a virus, and they can still get it. They're just I don't know if I believe the wording was like just less susceptible to it.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, wearing masks during this weather is the worst. And I'm saying this because I don't drive, so wherever I go, I either walk or take an Uber. But for the most part, I walk. And I used, like, a couple of months ago, when I would walk outside, I would take off my mask. Like if I was just out in the open and walking down the street, I would just walk without it because I breathe heavy. I'm, walking. It's not a good combination. And I remember my brother was like, oh, like, why don't you wear your mask? And I'm like, first of all, you drive. So unless you are walking on the streets with this heat, then I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any comments from you because it is hard. I see it. Like, it's hard. It's hard and it's like uncomfortable. And it's so like, especially like for like people who have skin problems like myself, it's so annoying to have to wear the mask. And may I add that a couple months ago when I went to one of my dermatologist appointments, he had basically said that people right now, because they were wearing masks, they were breaking out more. And so like his visits to him had increased tremendously because people were trying to like either get a prescription to kind of like help with their acne. And so so I think it's important to note that it's hard. It's not as easy people think it is. And I also wanted to say that I think it's interesting how in Florida has always been one of those states that does not require you to wear a face mask. So
right, they were one of the first to like not drop it, but like not mandate it.
Like you had the option obviously, but you didn't have to. And now it's like it's always been like a hot spot. Like the numbers have always been high, and not only because of spring break or people just visiting, especially like in Miami and stuff like that. So I just found it interesting that, now their governor saying the vaccines are saving lives. I think we have to revisit that mask mandate
Yeah.
aside from the vaccines.
Happy New Jersey Day, everyone. Today is New Jersey Day. This holiday actually started in 2019 by one of the holiday calendars that was meant to give homage to several U.S. states. So WMSC actually posted on their Instagram last night and asked, how will you celebrate? And told people to comment. So I'm going to read some of our excellent comments that we received. So Louis B says, start quote, I will be having some gagagool and pork roll in central New Jersey, maybe a hoagie as well, end quote. Annabella Poland says, start quote, I shall engage in New Jersey's ancient art of sitting in traffic, where there is less movement than in a race of spraying slugs, end quote. Mike F says, start quote, tomorrow I shall celebrate by getting stuck in traffic on the way down to the shore while eating a pork roll, egg, and cheese, and arguing with a North Jerseyan who thinks it's Taylor ham, end quote. Wow, those are excellent comments. But also in honor of the holiday, I found some fun facts about New Jersey and thought I would share them with you all. So New Jersey is the diner capital of the world, which I thought was pretty cool. Another one is that saltwater taffy was invented in New Jersey. The first ever official baseball game was held in Hoboken, New Jersey. Thomas Edison's famous Menlo Park, which is where he invented the phonograph, in 1877, was also located in New Jersey. And square dancing is considered to be the state dance. All right. So we have a lot of exciting New Jersey news, really. And not to mention that New Jersey schools were just named the third best in the nation, too. So New Jersey, we got a lot of hype going on. This is like your day. We all have to celebrate. And who would have known? Like before yesterday, I had no idea that New Jersey Day was even a thing. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I felt.
Rather, oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Isa. 100% agree. I didn't know either. I loved, I think, Annabella's quote. That was really funny. Because it is true. The traffic is so much fun. I feel like you just have multiple neighbors that you just don't want to see, because you're all stuck in traffic together. So I can agree there.
No,
I would completely agree because no one likes being stuck in traffic, and it's annoying because it just like it delays you and everyone wants to get out of there fast. But I found that like if I can't do anything about it, I try to do my best to at least enjoy it. Whether it's I usually have that time. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll call up a friend or a family member I didn't see for a long time or talk to. Maybe I'll listen to a cool audiobook. Maybe like I'll just like check in with myself, not really meditate, but just like ask, how's my mental state doing? Like, kind of do the things you don't usually do because you're usually busy with something.
Wow, I should be taking notes. Usually
Right?
I blast the same songs like on repeat, like the songs that like, bring my dopamine up and make me happy so I'm not like thinking about the fact that I'm stuck in traffic. Or I like talk to myself, which is, I guess it's somewhat cathartic in a sense. Like if I'm having like if I want to say something to someone, I'm like repeating it in my head or like saying it aloud and like mentally preparing myself for that confrontation later. But that's what I do when I'm in traffic. I don't know about you guys, but
I feel like I immediately, as soon as I get in my car, I need to have a playlist, and it needs to be like the loudest because I have to feel like, I don't know, I'm in my own space, even though I'm around a bunch of other cars. And I even saw, like, walking down the street, me and my friend saw this girl driving by and her windows were down and she was just screaming, like she was singing. So as the car left, you would hear her like screaming a song, and all of my friends just looked at me and were like, oh, Dodgy, that's you. So
Yeah.
that's what I do. It's like my me time.
I want to hear you scream a song while you're driving, Josh.
Well,
That
it is
sounds like so much fun. Why don't we talk about the fact that like New Jersey is the diner capital of the world? Does this like surprise you guys?
I am actually somewhat surprised. I didn't expect that. I don't know. It's just not a New Jersey thing for me.
See, I had never like really thought about it before, but now that I think about it, I'm not surprised because wherever I go, like there's a diner to my left, to my right. Like there are so many in New Jersey, and obviously they're not all as good as the next one, but I feel like overall they're pretty good. And there's a lot of them too, and most of them are pretty like aesthetically pleasing, or I don't know, they're very modern, or they give you like that 80s vibe. Like there's no in between for me.
That's so true.
Like, right?
What I also like, it's a lot of small home and family businesses, which is really cool because it's not like these big franchises that usually, while they're really fun and like those foods are really cool and they're iconic everywhere, it's not as, in my opinion, I think it's more special if it comes from a family. It just like comes from the heart and soul, and it's unique.
That was beautiful. No, I completely agree, Issa. But while we're on the topic of diners, I have to ask you guys, like, what's your favorite diner food?
Mac and
Your
cheese
go-to mac and cheese?
or mashed potatoes. Yeah, I always pick those two.
Okay.
Oh gosh. For me, it's hard. I remember I was at this one diner, and I know people say this is bad, but they had a really good chili. And I remember, like, we knew the people who, like, worked there and everything, and they really made, like, this homemade, it was, like, a fresh chili. It wasn't anything weird or bad, and I remember I really liked that. But other than that, probably burgers.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Those are good choices. I like chili too. I'm not gonna hate on you for choosing chili. Chili's good. I would have to say personally, my favorite diner food is waffle fries, or I mean like milkshakes. Like you can't go wrong with some fries and a milkshake. Sure, it's not the healthiest thing in the world, but you don't get diner food every single day. So every now and then, some waffle fries hit the spot.
That's so true. Oh, that sounds so good.
And are you guys gonna celebrate New Jersey Day?
Oh.
Well, my bank account says otherwise. But the diners are pretty affordable, which I love. So, at least we got that going.
Yeah.
So, it might be that, just a diner, or I can't think of anything else, honestly.
Trying to think, how can you celebrate New Jersey? Well, as some of the comments said, you could just get stuck in traffic and, eat a Taylor ham or pork roll sandwich or whatever you want to call it. You can go to the mysterious Central Jersey, if that even exists. I mean, these are all different ways you can celebrate. Like, take notes, guys, because today is your day to live it up in New Jersey, I guess.
Since I'm a fan of like history and like interesting facts, I might as well look some up and just inform myself on this day. Like, for example, when I'm finding out, I mean, we all hear of like the myths of like the Jersey Devil and different aspects. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I just have the cough. There's in my throat.
Oh, you're good. I just want to say that stuff about the Jersey Devil. I remember like my 4th grade teacher reading this big book about the Jersey Devil. So like
Really?
our entire class. Yes, and it scared me so much. I was like, what? There is a devil just like hopping around. Like, this is terrifying. Like, why are you telling me this? So that whole like myth always kind of creeped me out.
I'm gonna have to look up the story because I don't know it.
There's like a bunch of different like sightings of the Jersey Devil.
Honestly, I remember I'm so sorry.
All right, Issa. Okay, I think Issa's almost good. She's just taking that last.
She's excited about
She's
New
just
Jersey
too
Day.
excited
Yep.
talking about
But wait, who's your favorite celebrity from New Jersey?
Honestly, this might sound really like basic 2000s child answer, but the Jonas Brothers. I guess if I had to choose, I really love the Jonas Brothers. What about you, Daji?
Bon Jovi.
Okay, I love Bon Jovi too.
Sorry, guys, I'm so sorry. My throat just literally, I'm sorry, my throat just literally closed right there and I started panicking, but I'm okay.
It's New Jersey today. Like, it's just taking your breath away.
No, it's all the Jersey Devil talk. I think it's trying to like possess me or warn me about something.
Oh no.
Oh gosh. But I was about to say, my 6th grade, oh yeah?
Oh wait, sorry, go on. Continue with your talk.
Well, my 6th grade teacher, he told us a story of his father's encounter with the Jersey Devil. And he said it was really freaky. It's like he went, like, they had this house they rented, and he went out at night to their car, and he saw this weird thing that was following him. and it was like a goat on hind legs, and it had this low like hookish tail, and it started making weird howling sounds. So he ran away into the house, and it started following him.
Oh no.
These are like the stories that get me. Like when I read something like in a book, I'm like, oh, like that probably didn't happen. But when you hear someone who's like, well, my friend's father says that they saw the Jersey Devil, like this is the stuff that like internally freaks me out.
This
But all
is
right,
why I
guys.
stay away from suburban places at times.
I live in a suburban Morris County. Suburban Randolph. Don't tell me that, Dodgy. That's not gonna make me sleep at night. Like,
But honestly, I would be rather fascinated by something like this because it's something I feel that it's something that challenges your norms because we usually don't think of these creatures as real. But then when you hear from like trusted sources that they might be indeed real, like you're like, oh, what do I really know? What should I trust?
I guess if
Wow.
you like combine like fascinating and like horrifying at the same time, I guess maybe
But
we
I
could
feel
be
like
on the same page.
I feel like Issa would like battle it out if it would try to attack her or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
first I would summon it, and then I'll try to communicate with it, and then if it starts attacking me, I'm sorry, I'm just defending myself.
I have so many questions about this. A 44-year-old woman
Yes.
stole an oil tanker in Camden County, this is New Jersey, on
Yeah.
Saturday and was arrested more than 8 hours later and 80 miles away along the Jersey Shore after eluding police, getting into crashes in multiple towns. Her name was Camille Westcott of Lawnside. She is in custody. She was taken into custody into the parking lot of a Wawa on the West Rio Grande Avenue after 8:30 p.m. when cops forced their way into the truck due to concern she would flee into the town congested with a bunch of summer visitors. Wildwood police charged Westcott with receiving stolen property, obstruction, and resisting arrest, and turned her over to, this is a hard word, Belmar. Is that how you say that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Belmar.
There are two different
Yeah, there's
towns
two
called
Belmars. There's
Belmar,
like one
spelled differently.
Belmar, New Jersey.
Yeah, there's like Belmar like down south by Philadelphia, and then there's like Belmar
Belmar
Beach.
Beach.
And
Yeah.
There are two different Belmars and they're spelled differently.
Oh my
Who's in
god.
charge of Governor Murphy changed that? I don't like that. She also faces
Please
charges
change.
in
I don't-
Belmar from state police and other places. Police in Wildwood were aware of the tanker throughout the day, but the first reports that they received only indicated that an erratic driver was on West Rio Grande Avenue. Wildwood Lieutenant Kenneth Gallagher said other pursuits of Westcott and other towns earlier were broken off for safety reasons. I got one question, and one question only. All right. Why on earth does somebody need to steal an oil tanker?
I was literally just about to ask that.
It's a GTA type thing, Grand Theft Auto.
Well, it's because of the gas prices. We're living in inflationary times.
Well,
and
that
people
was honestly
Like-
my only thought. An oil tanker. I don't
That-
understand.
They're doing
Oh, it's so crazy. We're going to Mad Max level stuff almost.
don't understand. Why do you need an oil tanker?
because they don't want to have to be subject to oil prices, man. When oil
Camille
prices,
Westcott, what are you doing? And also, another question, another one. I guess I don't have just one question. All right.
Yeah.
How does it take 8 hours?
Because it was driving really slow and she probably took back roads and she probably
Well,
also
no, police knew about this. How did it take them 8 hours to stop her?
because she
How?
took back roads and she probably knew specific ways to get in New Jersey. Because like
So you think she planned this out? Her grand master plan? She was like, I'm going to steal an oil tanker.
I
Yeah.
think she looked up to an oil tanker truck and spontaneously in the spur of the moment, like, you know what, I'm just gonna truck jack.
That's what you got to do. Nobody
Like it-
plans a theft of an oil tanker.
What do you do? People
No,
plan weird
it-
stuff.
No,
that's-
nobody plans it.
no, but nobody plans it.
You.
It's just like
No.
it's just like, huh, that's an oil tanker. That'd be fun to steal.
No,
That's
nobody
something
plans that.
It's something
No.
you joke around with your friends. Oh, someone's gonna steal an oil tanker, and then like,
She's
you know.
44. Who's joking around? Who's joking about
Hey.
that at 44 years old?
Hey, her life trajectory maybe isn't going the best right now. She wants to be on the news, or she just wants to, you know, she's already getting older, so she wants to do something crazy before.
So why would you steal an oil tanker
Hey,
to make
Francis.
it-
Francis,
to
I want
have
to tell
it
you
a
something.
full-on midlife crisis.
Here's the
Francis, I
problem.
want to tell you something.
You're thinking too logically.
You are a very smart person, Francis.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard anybody say in my entire life.
Okay, hey, you got to be smart to say some dumb stuff sometimes.
What does that even mean? That's the exact opposite.
It's
What
horseshoe theory.
happens?
It's horseshoe theory. You have to understand. A lot
It's
of
the
this
horseshoe theory.
Horseshoe theory.
crazy dumb stuff is done by some of the smartest people you know.
I do believe that. Okay, I guess if that's the horseshoe theory, I do believe that. However, why? Why? He needs to do an oil tanker.
I will say though,
Can
she
it-
does
can-
have.
Big GTA fan wanted to live GTA. Her life isn't going well. She has nothing left to lose and decided to do it. That's probably what happened.
I don't understand. And
Kenny,
you, I do. You know what? I will bet money that this is not true. Do you know why? She has other charges against her in other places. She's wild.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe she's trying to outdo the Florida man and become the Jersey woman. Who knows?
are
Yes.
supporting a woman who stole an oil tanker, Francis?
Why? Why are you doing this?
Like we said, Deer
Is this your mom? Who is this?
In 2024, it's the Deer running for president, like we said. So
Oh, what?
But the deer running for president.
A deer
is-
running
is-
for president? I have not heard about this.
It's the glass when the deer ran into the glass a few weeks
Deer
ago.
ran into the glass, the story we did.
I
yeah.
don't remember this.
And we
I
basically
think
made
they
a
said
joke
running
about,
for
like-
president.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
basically we-
Oh.
yeah.
And we said
Yeah.
that to legalize looting. So then this is what happened.
No, I just think it's a midlife crisis. She had a midlife crisis.
If anything, that's what it is.
We need
Thomas,
Jersey
what are you
women, though.
thinking?
Li-
Thomas,
listen, she even stopped. She even
Yeah.
stopped in Wawa, so she already has Jersey taste.
Wow. Okay, let me see this oil tanker. I need a pretzel real quick. I need my bang energy too.
I just yeah. Why do you need an oil tanker?
You're gonna
Why?
keep knocking into the equipment when you bump back like that.
Why?
Hey, I said, there's a massive gas prices are rising. The economy, it's very shaky right now. People are getting scared. There's a lot of people stoking fear. So then people do absurd stuff when they listen to crazy people on the radio all the time. So then they'll wind up doing insane stuff like
What
stealing.
person on the radio is encouraging people to steal oil tankers?
Like
What
Alex
radio
Jones-
stations have you been listening to?
doomsday prepper shows and stuff like that, like Alex Jones type people that are conspiratorial, and then people will listen to that and act on absurd things.
Okay.
It's not rational.
But that's
Getting frustrated and
We
trying to rationalize it.
we are gonna move on here before I blow out my vocal cords and I'm not able to speak anymore. I want to ask you all, what's your opinion about cats?
I like void cats, black cats.
Okay, you like black cats. Thomas,
Cats are great, except I'm allergic to them.
okay. Thomas?
Yeah, I've had experience with both. I mean, cats are alright.
All right.
I've
Thomas,
had-
you're also fired now.
I mean,
yeah.
both cats and dogs, but I do have to say that dogs are a lot more playful.
Dogs are worse. Easily.
No, dogs
I
are more
love cats.
playful.
Cats
Yeah,
are
they're,
like
they're
the-
higher maintenance, but like they're fun.
cats are the only animal I really like. I don't like animals really. I think that I don't like knowing what they're just not
Yeah,
being
I
able
was-
to predict them. And
Oh.
dogs, especially dogs, are some of the worst animals because like you just get home and they're like and they don't shut up and they're jumping all over you and they're just
No,
they're too
I
much. They're
love
in your
that.
space and they're
love
smelling
that.
you and it's too much. A cat will walk.
I
A
love
cat,
that.
if it even cares, it will just walk up to me like, meh. I don't like dogs.
I love dogs. I love
No.
Dogs.
Dogs are terrible.
Do you want me to bring
and
Lee up here
every
and she'll
sing-
Just because you're
And-
anti-animal social doesn't mean you have to bring other people down, Kenny.
And every
it doesn't.
single dog owner I have ever met is like, oh, you're gonna love my dog. My dog's different. Your dog isn't different. Your dog isn't special. I don't know what is so special about your dog that I'm gonna love it. It's gonna change my 20 years of experience of hating dogs.
Okay, then I agree with Francis. Don't need to bring people down just because they like dogs.
I'm not saying that you can't like dogs. I'm just saying that I hate them and I think they shouldn't exist.
what
And
would
also,
you-
here's another thing: small dogs, they don't even count. They should be a separate species, and they should be called dogginis.
Yes, they should. I agree.
Thank
with
you.
that.
You agree? Yeah, I say that every now and then. People look at me like I have 7 heads.
No, the smaller dogs are not. I don't consider them. real
Yeah, they don't
dogs.
count. But even then, they're even worse than the big ones. The big ones, they freak me out. They scare me because they have the ability to, like bulldoze me. But the small ones, they don't shut up ever.
No,
Ever.
no.
They
And
don't
I-
stop. And
That's
it
because
just it's like and it drives me insane. I hate dogs.
But a mom has interrupted her son as he proposes to his girlfriend and tells him not to do it. And as soon as our ghost of Kenny put this into our thing, I was like, we need to talk about this as soon as possible. So we have all heard stories about interfering mother-in-laws pulling the strings behind the scenes of their sons' relationships, but surely none of them would have the gall to stop their son from getting down on one knee mid-proposal. Well, apparently some will. In fact, one man managed to capture the moment. He was about to propose to his then girlfriend when his mom stepped in and quite literally told him no. But just as Dan reached into his pocket and prepared himself to go on the floor, his mom can be heard shouting, "No, no, no." So what does he do? He walks away? My dad didn't know what to do, so he just kept recording. He wrote alongside the clip, "Yep, it doesn't get more awkward than that. What in the world is this story, Kenny? This is so sad." And he just walked away too. That's, oh my god, this is
Why
that was
did the dad
heartbreaking.
keep recording?
That is
Like-
a very great question. At some point, you just gotta put the phone down.
Yo, I kid you not. If I was to know somebody who was going to propose, I just see their mom say, no. I would lose it laughing.
Bro.
Actually,
yeah,
no,
I
I
would
know.
just start laughing.
I know one person. I actually know one of my friends would, I know one person that has a mom that would do something like this too. I'm not gonna say any names, but
exposure.
Shout out Eric Gonatov. That's one of my best friends at school. Shout out Eric Gonatov. If you're listening to this, it's true. But that is some next level stuff right there.
Wow.
You would think it's like, oh well, my son, he finally has a girl I love. Well, finally found a girl he loves, but it's like, yeah, I don't like her. No.
Here's
Imagine the girl's reaction. Like,
I know,
how
that's what I
awkward
was
that would
thinking.
be.
Yo, that's probably why it's a then girlfriend now. She's like,
Yeah.
Deuces, I'm out of here.
I'm sure she could
Wouldn't
tell
be
like
able to
her-
stay
the
after
mom.
that.
It's like the mom probably wasn't a big fan of her, and she probably could already tell that, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that the mom was so vocal in saying no.
Mm.
Also, here's the main point I want to get to here. Public proposals are just never a good idea, guys.
No.
Stop doing them because they always end up bad. And anytime they do end up right, I'm always just like, well, that was stupid. Should have said no. But it's just, when have you ever seen like a successful public proposal? Like at this point, it's like the success rate has got to be like 1 out of 10.
I personally probably seen like what, 3?
Yeah, I always just feel sad when I watch them. Just like, bro, why did we do this in public? Like, you can go to a nice restaurant, go to like a nice scenic view at night where it's just you two. Stop adding everyone else into it, because there's a high possibility that either she freezes up and doesn't know what to say, or she's just like, maybe, I don't know, I don't like you that much right now. I don't want to marry you. It's just like there's so many things that could go wrong and will go wrong. So from here on out, can we stop doing public proposals? Like, I will never ever get on my knees in public. No way, because I know if anything, that'd be hilarious if someone was trolling like their to-be husband in that way. It's like, actually, I now walk away and then come back and say, I was just messing with you. Like,
Yo,
I feel
what
like
would
if so, like, how would you react?
That's actually I'm about to bring up. Well, how would you feel if she said, if the girlfriend said no altogether? Like, what happens? Like, is relationship over at that point? Like, what's up with that?
It's just, it's just never a good idea. Even if you're in front of family too,
No,
just stop.
no,
Stop it.
no.
Because it's gonna go wrong. And they're always gonna remember this moment where you got rejected and everyone saw it. Stop the public proposals.
Here's the thing: it's if you have friends too, like you know how your best friends always joke around with you. They'll never let you live that down. They'll never let you live that down. Not one bit.
That's
you
forever.
You could be married with kids in like years ahead. It's like, oh, remember that one time? Remember you had your try to propose in public. And you got
Remember when you were heartbroken in front of everyone and we
They'll
saw your
never
soul die in front of us?
And also like if you go bring it back to Disney. If you go to Disney or someplace,
oh my god,
I see that it's nice and all, like it's that dream, but like if they say no, all those eyes from around the world that see that, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
I've seen failed Disney proposals too, and it's so uncomfortable because everyone wants it to work, obviously. But then it's just like everyone's just sitting. It's so awkward because you don't know how to respond. You're just like, okay, I guess I'll go on the next ride.
Here's the thing. No. If it's a failed Disney proposal, you got to leave the park. You have to leave. You have to leave the state of. You have to leave the state of Florida. Forget the park. You got to go back home. You actually you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here. You got to go. You got to go. Change your identity.
Kicking people out.
Change your identity. Change everything about you because no, you have all those eyes around the world. They see what you did and see how you failed. It's like, yeah, at that point, you got to leave, bro. You have to go. You got to get out of there.
Oh my god. I just think it's it's also funny, the fact that it's clearly like a story from the UK and just the accent in general just makes it funnier. It's like, no. Accents are hilarious and always add a little more comedy to the situation.